Hello, my name is Grace Arnold, and today I will be talking about adoptions and how they not only benefit the child who's being adopted, but their adopted parent and the parent who gives their child up. Have you ever considered adopting a child? Did you know that there are millions of children across the world waiting to be adopted? Many people forget about the option of adopting a child whenever they want to start a family. In 2011, over 233,934 children were adopted in the United States. This number may seem very large, but actually it is quite small compared to the rest of the world. The United States does not even rank in the top 5 of the countries who have adopted the most children. In 2011, over 3,900 children were adopted in Kentucky. There is a very special person that I know who was adopted in 2011. His name is Micah, and he is 23 months old and is the sweetest little boy you'll ever know. His adopted parents have tried for years to have a child, but unfortunately, they couldn't. Micah's adopted father is the pastor of my church, and his adopted mother is our youth leader. They got a call on a Wednesday afternoon to come pick up their child at a hospital in Louisville the next day. They were very ecstatic to be getting a child. They were very happy to be getting a child, but they had a lot to do to get ready for their child to come home in less than 24 hours since they had found out about him. They picked Micah up at the hospital in Louisville when he was 3 days old, and they immediately fell in love with him. They treated him as if he was their very own biological child. I learned a lot about the adoption process since I was with them every step of the way. Now that they've had Micah for almost 2 years, they couldn't imagine their life without him. They say he fills the void that their family had before they had him. Another family that I know that has been blessed by an adoption is a family friend named Brenda and her husband named Ronnie. They adopted a rambunctious toddler when he was 18 months old, and his name was Willie. He had been staying at a foster home until someone decided to adopt him. Ronnie and Brenda loved Willie and cared about him immensely. Willie and Micah were blessed to be adopted by 2 nurturing families, so that they did not have to spend their childhood in an orphanage or foster home somewhere else. An issue that has become very prominent in today's society is abortion. Many people believe this is a quick and easy fix to terminate a pregnancy, especially a teenage girl that is pregnant. They believe this will solve their problem and their life will remain the same. Many women who have had an abortion do not feel remorse at first, but eventually they do, and they do regret their decision after time. There are countless families waiting to adopt a child. I could not imagine my life not knowing Micah or Willie if their mother had decided to abort them. If she had, their adopted parents would never have gotten to experience the joy of becoming their parents. So I'm begging anyone out there who is considering having an abortion to stop and rethink that decision. If they do not want to raise the child, I beg and plead with them to give it up for adoption instead of aborting it, because some family will be happy to have that child. Many people think that the adoption process is overwhelming and impossible, but it really isn't. The adoption process is quite easy and simple. The mother and the father of a child will contact an adoption agency. Many hospitals will recommend an agency to a mother who has recently given birth. After that, the adoption agency will choose parents from a list that they have employed to them to help them find a child to adopt, which is what Micah's parents did. After the adopted parents have taken their child home, someone from the adoption agency will check up on the child at least once a month to ensure that the child is being taken care of and well treated until the adoption is finalized. The adoption agency has to make sure that they have the consent of both biological parents before the adoption can be finalized, so that 3 or 4 years down the road that the parents can't come back and decide they changed their minds and want to take their child away from the adopted parents. Then once the parents have signed the legal documents necessary, the adoption agency and the adopted parents bring their case before a judge for them to finalize the adoption and sign legal documents stating that the adopted parents are now the full legal guardians and are the child's parents. The number one reason in America why families adopt a child is because of infertility problems. That is why my pastor and his wife, and Ronnie and Brenda, adopted their 2 sons, because they were not able to have children on their own. The second reason why families choose to adopt a child is to offer that child a better life. That is why a lot of people choose to adopt children from other countries. It breaks their heart thinking of children who grow up in a poor orphanage in a far-off country. Many people believe that the adoptions only benefit one family, but they are very wrong. Adoptions are not only good for families, but for society as a whole. Adoptions keep children out of orphanages. Also, humanitarians value children being put into loving homes with caring parents. Some people in today's society who are worried about the economy should realize that adoption companies provide over 100,000 jobs to Americans all across the country. Also, by children coming to America to grow up from other countries, this helps enrich America's culture and helps diversify our ever-changing melting pot. Another benefit to today's society is children who are adopted do not have to rely on the government for financial assistance or for the government to provide them health care or the foster care system. Children who are raised by a family are more likely to be productive citizens to society whenever they are adults, opposed to children who grow up in orphanages or foster care homes. One thing that many people do not think about is the biological mother and father. If the mother or father are not ready for the responsibility that comes with raising a child, they can give their child up for adoption. Also, this frees them up to continue their lives, knowing that their child is being well taken care of by a loving family. With having an abortion comes a lot of guilt. So instead of aborting their child, they can give their child up for adoption without feeling guilty about it. Adoptions are most meaningful to families that adopt a child. Of course, like having a child born, adopting a child dramatically changes a family's life, especially going from having no children to having a child within 24 hours. Of course, adopting a child can be hard, especially if a family chooses to adopt a teenager. They will have some adjustments to make, and they may be experiencing some grief if something recently happened to their parents, such as a sudden death. In conclusion, adoptions are one of the most promising experiences that exist in today's society. Our society has evolved to accept everyone, no matter what their situation is, which makes it easier to adopt a child than it has ever been. So, in the future, will you adopt a child?